Canada has spoken, and the message is loud and clear. It will never become part of the United States. But this isn't just about national pride. This is about a political showdown between two powerful figures, newly elected Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney and U.S. President Donald Trump. With tensions rising, a trade war brewing, and even threats of annexation, what happens next could change the course of history. Welcome to today's deep dive into the unfolding Canada-U.S. political crisis. Canada has just elected its new Prime Minister, Mark Carney, in a landslide victory, securing 85% of the vote to become the leader of the governing Liberal Party. This win is historic, not only because of its sheer margin, but also because Carney is a political outsider. As a former governor of the Bank of England and the Bank of Canada, Carney has extensive economic experience, but zero political experience. He has never served as an MP, nor held a cabinet position, yet he has now emerged as Canada's leader at one of the most critical political moments in the country's history. Standing before an electrified crowd in Ottawa, Carney declared his commitment to fiscal responsibility, social justice, and international leadership. But the part of his speech that made headlines worldwide was his fierce rejection of U.S. influence. These words were a direct response to the growing tension between Canada and the United States, fueled by Donald Trump's aggressive policies and threats of annexation. The room erupted in cheers, but behind the scenes, the situation remains far from resolved. Donald Trump's second term in office has been nothing short of controversial, and his policies toward Canada have only made things worse. After his re-election in November, Trump wasted no time in upending key trade agreements and launching an economic war against Canada. Tariffs, sanctions, and threats to major industries have put immense pressure on the Canadian economy. But Trump took things even further, openly stating his desire to make Canada the 51st state of America. While many saw this as political posturing, the impact on the Canadian government and its people has been profound. Carney, in his victory speech, made it clear that he sees Trump's actions as a direct attack on Canada's sovereignty, calling this a dark time brought on by a country we can no longer trust. These words reflect a growing sentiment among Canadians who now feel they must stand together against U.S. interference. In the days following Carney's victory, Canadian newspapers and political analysts have all asked the same question: what happens next? Carney's most likely move is to call an early general election within the next 10 days. Why? Because he currently does not hold a seat in the House of Commons, and without a democratic mandate from voters, his leadership remains politically fragile. Polling suggests that while the Conservative Party, led by Pierre Poilievre, still holds a slight lead, Carney's dramatic entrance into politics and his strong anti-Trump stance are rapidly shifting public opinion. The Liberal Party, which was previously struggling due to economic concerns and high living costs, has suddenly found itself energized by the battle for sovereignty. Many Canadians now see this upcoming election as a choice between economic policy and national independence. The political turmoil between Canada and the U.S. is no longer just a regional issue. It has become a global concern. The United Nations, European Union, and key international allies are closely monitoring the situation. If tensions continue to escalate, we could see a complete breakdown in U.S. Canada trade relations, increased support for Canada from international allies, potentially shifting global alliances, a Canadian general election that could redefine the country's future political direction. So what happens now? Will Mark Carney's leadership strengthen Canada's independence, or will Donald Trump's aggressive policies force the country into deeper economic struggles? The upcoming election will be a defining moment in history, and the world is watching. What do you think? Should Canada push back harder against the U.S., or should they seek a more diplomatic approach? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on this political showdown. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update.